Alright, so we kicked off Smackdown this week with a promo by Daniel Bryan. He still got this inferiority complex, but he just talks about how his match against Orton was stopped on Monday night, and first time in 13 years that he's ever had a match stopped because he got hurt or whatever. But then you get Randy Orton out there, and he's basically telling his side of the story, and Daniel Bryan's not having anything of it, and basically thought he was patronizing him and by patting him on the head and all of this shit, and it's like basically all this is doing is setting up the main event for the night. Originally it was supposed to be Daniel Bryan against Dean Ambrose, but you know what? Cards are subject to change. And before we even got out of the first commercial break, we get Sheamus against Cody Rhodes. And why was it Cody Rhodes? Because if you had the WWE app, you could have seen that Damien Sandow and Cody Rhodes drew straws to find out who was going to go against Sheamus. But this match, oh gosh. Sheamus is entering that territory where he's almost like no job Rob Van Dam, who's going to be coming back at Money in the Bank. But Sheamus wins with the Texas Clover Leaf. It's bad enough he didn't want to go over with the bro kick. He had to make Cody tap out like a bitch. But Sandow attacks Sheamus after the match and leaves him laying in the ring. And are Sheamus and Sandow gonna have another match at Money in the Bank? Well, if they do, hopefully maybe Sandow could perhaps go over once. That would be nice. I'm not betting on it, but it'd sure be nice. Well, I guess Wade Barrett is cashing his rematch clause because for the IC title, it's the new champion, Curtis Axel, against Wade Barrett. You got Miz singing on commentary, whoop-de-doo. This match didn't last very long, and Axel wins clean. Then afterwards, you got Miz coming into the ring, and you get a stare down between him and Curtis Axel, so I'm guessing Miz is going to be his Axel's first challenger. Probably set up a match at Money in the Bank or something, or maybe Miz will be back on the pre-show. But I'm guessing the way that they're pushing Curtis Axel, I don't see that match on the pre-show. It'll probably be safe for Sheamus against Damien Sandow, just like Payback was. Okay, normally I wouldn't talk about stuff that happened on Raw on a Smackdown review, but since none of my brothers at the OTRS Central really did a Raw review this week, and I didn't do one myself, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this. Mark Henry's retirement speech. Oh my God, this was awesome. This is the best promo I've heard all year. This almost ranks right up there with the pipe bomb promo from CM Punk a couple years ago. This was absolutely awesome. I mean, Henry he was dressed to the nines. He had his pink sport coat on, and he had his wrestling boots like he was going to come down and retire. He's talking about his career. Hell, he's talking about sexual chocolate. He was talking about Mae Young, for God's sake. And he was also talking about his family. He's talking about his wife, Jana, and his two kids, his son and his daughter. His daughter always crying when Daddy has to go back on the road. And this is right after another lame John Cena promo. But he has John Cena stay around the ring. Hey, you can let your guard down, But he had me absolutely fooled. I'm not gonna lie here. I probably should have seen this coming, but Mark Henry played this perfectly. And there is gonna be a match between now Henry and Cena at Money in the Bank. And unlike with Ryback, you actually get this feeling that, hey, Mark Henry could actually win the WWE title off of John Cena. Whether that happens or not, that's another question for another time. But you know what? After this promo that Mark Henry gave on Monday night, why not give him a last run at it? Why not give Mark Henry a run with the WWE Championship before he retires? I mean, Mark's not getting any younger. He's 42 years old now, but if he would have done this to anybody else, he would have been booed for sure. But it kind of just goes to show you how much a lot of people like my age and pretty much people over the age of 18 hate John Cena. So this promo was absolutely awesome. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, then you got your Random Divas match. AJ Lee, the newly crowned Divas champion, taking on Natalya. She ends up winning by a submission with the octopus hold, or as they call it, I forget what they call it. It doesn't really matter. But AJ, if you really want to watch a psycho bitch, watch Mickie James in TNA. And if you really think you're going to take on Stephanie McMahon, you got another thing coming there, sweetheart. Alright, your 1 hour main event match was Y2J Chris Jericho against the new World Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio and Carter Rodriguez. This was a pretty good match for your 1 hour main event. Ricardo tries to interfere. He ends up getting put in the Lion Tamer. No, I didn't say the Walls of Jericho. I said the Lion Tamer. But Ziggler comes down to interfere. He attacks Del Rio after what happened to him at Payback, losing the world title, and it's kind of a repeat of what you saw at the end of Monday Night Raw. And Jericho ends up nailing Ziggler with the code breaker for getting him disqualified. And it kind of got worse from there for Ziggler. Because he ends up getting a big kick to the head by Del Rio, and they leave him in the ring. So hopefully Ziggler is still going to be face after this. It's going to be interesting to see what happens between him and Big E and AJ and all that. But I guess that remains to be seen what's going to happen. But I'm really interested to see what happens between those three. Well, you had Vicky Guerrero's big surprise on Monday night, which turned out to be the return of Christian. And he was back on Smackdown. He took on one member of the 3MB, Drew McEntire. This match didn't last very long at all. Christian goes over clean with the kill switch. Then he got a little promo from Christian afterwards saying he's great. And he's happy to be back, and he's looking for that one more match. And evidently the Shield wasn't too happy about that. So, but what was really interesting about the Shield is that, hey, they didn't come from the stands this time. They came from the normal entrance. So, what's up with that? But Christian takes the triple power bomb, and they left him laying. Alright, then you had the return of CM Punk. They did a little video package about him returning at Payback and basically getting a hero's welcome in his hometown. What else would you expect? Then that kind of led into a video of the main event on Raw when he took on Del Rio and ended up winning that match by countout. And then you had the return of Brock Lesnar. He's coming out of the ring, and he's kind of staring at Punk for a little bit, and he puts him up on his shoulders and gives him the F5. You know, on the surface, you would think that, Lesnar's going to be the heel and Punk's now a babyface. But he thinks there's going to be a little more of this story here. Who knows? Punk said he's always going to be a Paul Heyman guy. And they're like best friends, him and Heyman. So you could see a big swerve here, perhaps. This could be something orchestrated between Punk and Heyman, or Lesnar could end up being the babyface and all after all this is said and done. But it seems like there's more questions than answers when when it comes to CM Punk and Brock Lesnar. One would think that this is going to be the main event of SummerSlam. It's going to be the match that the whole card's going to be built around. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with all this stuff. And speaking of Paul Heyman, you get a little backstage interview with Renee Young, and she asked him about the stuff with CM Punk, but oh my God, Paul Heyman just ripped it. He basically ripped her a new ass. Oh God, he's talking about her personal life. It's like her issues with her father and the fact that she broke up with her fiance about 2 months ago. And it's like if you want to ask me something again, ask me about Curtis Axel or something like that. But God, Paul Heyman just, oh man, he just ripped her to shreds, man. All right. Then you have your main event with Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan. It's kind of the same match that you saw on Monday night, with the exception of the fact that Daniel Bryan wins by countout. But Daniel Bryan did not. He was just going no. Excuse me. He does not want a count out victory, and that's basically how the show ends. He's just going no. I mean, pretty much any match you see with Daniel Bryan lately, it's been the highlight of the show, and this was no exception. All right, final thoughts on this week's SmackDown. Hey, there's no Teddy Long to be found, so no tag team match, playa. But as far as other stuff goes, it's like Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan. I'm interested to see where this ends up. Maybe they're going to have another match at Money in the Bank, and one of those two have got to turn heel. I am really hoping it's Randy Orton, because I don't want to see Daniel Bryan turn heel, especially when Daniel Bryan is the hottest thing going in WWE right now. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. And the CM Punk Brock Lesnar thing, where's this going to lead? I'm sure this is going to be leading up to a match at SummerSlam or something, or getting the ball rolling for that really early. And as far as Del Rio and Ziggler, I imagine they're going to have another match, probably at Money in the Bank. But I'm more interested to see how AJ and Big E are going to figure into that. It's like, are they all still going to be together, or is Big E going to turn on Ziggler, or what's going to happen there? But and that Mark Henry retirement speech from Monday Night Raw, oh geez, I've watched it 3 times now, and it's still as good as the first time I saw it on Monday night. But anyway, I want to get your thoughts on the show this week, and subscribe up above if you haven't. And I am Marvelous Mark, signing off for now, and I'll talk to you all later.